Hello and thank you for streaming NBL basketball on sportslive.ca and lightningbasketball.ca. And it's Lightning who will be in action tonight as they take on the Montreal Jazz. My name is Marty Thompson and I am alongside my colleague John Van Houwelingen. John, how are you?
That's awesome, thanks. I know that's a tough last name to pronounce. Thanks, Marty. Appreciate that.
I got it.
You did good. First time in. That's awesome. I'm impressed.
This is our first game together, and this is also the first game between these two teams. Montreal is a new team into this league as they replace the Quebec Cavs or Laval Cavs, depending on.
In essence, they're a brand new team, top to bottom. There's no returning players. We were looking at the lineup. They had one, Richard Volsey. They released him, of course.
And
there's nobody back.
And Volsey was the only returning player, and he actually got released just after last game. And last game he actually went down with 5 fouls. So you have to wonder what happened after that.
Not sure what happened. A lot of Canadian content we were noticing also on the Montreal Jazz.
All but 2 players.
All but 2 players. That's amazing. That's quite a gamble, I would say.
And obviously a bit of a French flavor as well, naturally.
Yeah, some from the hometown province we see. A couple of players from Concordia.
And there have been a lot of players that have been kicking around, the Quebec scene for a number of the years. So David Michel, who is kind of a recent addition, he played for the Quebec Cavs back when they were in either the ABA or the National Basketball.
I think they were in a professional league on the East Coast. I forget what the acronyms were for that.
Yeah, actually, I just have it right here. They were in the Premier Basketball League.
Basketball League, okay.
Michel was actually with them then in 2008. So a bunch of players have been kicking around the Quebec scene and finally get a spot with, Quebec's biggest team.
Well, for those viewers that are maybe new to us, this is the second year of the NBL, the National Basketball League of Canada. I'm pretty excited to have a pro league. We're having a lot of fun here at the Budweiser Center now, right?
Yeah, Budweiser Gardens.
Yep, I'm doing my best. It's hard to break old habits.
Absolutely. I brought my friend to his first game here, and he's new to London, and he still calls it the JLC, even though he's never ever been called it there. So we're gonna direct our attention to the board here, as we have a little bit of a presentation here with the opening ceremonies.
At this time, we would ask players from both teams to please move to the court for a special ceremony and our national anthem. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would ask you all to please rise, remove your caps, and turn your attention to the video board.
So what's happening now, folks, is that there is a tribute to Michael Ray Richardson's mother, who passed away of cancer this week. And after the game tonight, he's going to be flying out for the funeral on Monday for his mother.
Ms. Libby Hicks passed away on Wednesday, November 14, 2012. Her son, like Coach Michael Ray Richardson, loved his mother and all the loving things that she instilled in her wonderful family. At this time, we would ask you to please join in a moment of silence to honor Ms. Libby Hicks. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would ask you to please remain standing as we welcome Ms. Andrea Barrett to sing the national anthem.
Well, you might notice a lot of purple, probably more purple in the crowd than there is yellow at this point. and that is because it is the Shine Light campaign night here at Budweiser Gardens, and a campaign that was started here in London that is against abuse against women. So it's also my belief that the London Lightning will also be wearing special purple uniforms as well.
Yeah, let's see what happens when they take the warm-up jerseys off.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. It will probably be purple on green, which...
oh, that's a color clash.
Yes.
I'd never wear that in my wardrobe, that's for sure.
Well, I think it's also kind of interesting because very rarely do you ever see a team not wear white.
That's true.
If we are going to see the purple, but what are some things we have to look out here for the Lightning in terms of what to expect from the Jazz?
Well, you know, right now, on paper, it looks like a mismatch, right? We got the highest scoring team in the league against the lowest scoring team in the league, and it's not even close.
No.
It's like 40-point difference.
Well, yeah, 127 for London on average, and 80 to the first two games. Well,
you know,
sample size.
That's
but
right. It's only 2 games going in for Montreal, we know, and London, they have lots of firepower. They got 4 starters back, of course.
Yeah,
so they got lots of chemistry going on already.
Especially in their last game, they managed 153 points against Oshawa. I mean, that's massive.
That's a lot of points.
It is.
I can't remember ever playing in a game myself. I've seen a couple of games like that, but don't see too much at the pro level.
Well, it's especially when you think that this is supposed to be that competitive a league. I mean, London almost seems like they're
it's almost like the old ABA. That's way before your time, I know, Marty. But
sorry. Well,
that's you were just a young fella in college and stuff.
So is this the new ABA or the old one? Because the Quebec Cavs played in the ABA technically.
Well, ABA was. Remember how the WHA used to be the rival against the NHL? The ABA used to be a rival against the NBA until they folded all the teams together. And my favorite team of all time, and still to this day, is San Antonio Spurs. Yeah. And they were in the ABA. It came in with George the Iceman Gervin, but it was not uncommon to have high scores in the ABA in the 140s and 150s. And Denver Nuggets were another team that were like that.
Yeah, and
why that's what it reminded me.
Yeah.
Are we coming to the ABA tonight or the NBL?
Yeah. And why would there be such high scoring affairs in the ABA at that time?
ABA, well, they had a couple different rules for defenses, so it freed up the offensive players. And actually, the NBA adopted some of those rules later on, actually. And just the attraction to get fans away from the NBA, they decided to play an up-tempo kind of basketball. So they recruited players that were like that as well as coaches. And in the end, the NBA recognized them as, legitimate teams. And I think, if I remember right, I think there were 6 teams that pulled into the NBA. Denver Nuggets being one of them, and I remember San Antonio Spurs. And there were a few more in there.
Pacers?
Can't remember. I don't think the Pacers.
No, not the Pacers. I
think they were later, I think. Yeah. Well, that's all good. Basketball's been around for a long time. I'm not from the beginning of time either, so.
Exactly. So we're just going to tune in here for the introduction of the players here. This is just Montreal here now.
Well, we're going to have our work done, and you're going to have your work cut out tonight.
There's a few strange names. Xavier Delarue. He's one of the only non-Canadian players on the team, and guess what? He's from France.
From France. Well,
so they still love their French.
Well, like you said, your eyesight's good, but the numbers are big on the shirts there from Montreal Jazz, which is awesome for us.
Very nice-looking uniforms as well with the green.
Yeah, you look sharp, actually.
Yeah, no other team in the NBL has green. Am I correct?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
As we're just going right through the Montreal group here, as now the London Lightning will introduce their players here.
Big team, Montreal. Wow, a couple of 6'10"ers there.
Yeah, but not big.
6'8".
Not big in terms of the amount of players. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 they're dressing.
Only dressing 10 tonight, yeah.
Kind of a shorter bench, but what can you expect from an expansion team? Especially one that doesn't have any returning players from.
So 8 out of 10 are Canadian players, we know, is off the top. Now, they have some good quality Canadian players in Montreal with Juan Mendez. Right. You had already mentioned that you'd done some homework on him, and I was very familiar with him from the NCAA tournament with the Niagara Screaming Purple Eagles, I think they're called.
Yes. Yep.
He was their all-time leading scorer, and I think you said he was a leading Canadian scorer in the NCAA last year.
Yeah, and he was a MAC MVP nominee in 2005. I mean, he's been around. He seems like he's one of those players that you have to kind of watch out for. But now we'll turn to the London Lightning here.
Bowden.
D'Anthony Bowden, 32 points last game.
Yeah, I call him the heart of the team. I told him that last year when we were televising, and I got to meet him. I said, "You're the grit of this team. You're really the pusher. You may not be the scorer all the time, but you're the grit guy."
Yeah.
Morgan Lewis, what a great pickup from Oshawa. He is the all-round best player on the team, I think.
Fantastic player, yeah, all the way through, and especially that game against Oshawa, just pounced on his former team. It was awesome. And so now we're going to get Tim Ellis, had a double-double last game.
Well, last year I voted him my most favorite player. I just loved his game. Whatever a team needed, he did it. He can score, he can play defense. You watch, if you stick with it all year, you'll see almost every night he'll be given the toughest person to guard, no matter what the size is, guard or big. It'll almost always be Tim Ellis. Or it'll be Bowden, but mostly it's Tim Ellis. Yeah. Whenever a team has a run in the game, quite often you see Coach Michael Ray put Tim Ellis on the guy to try and shut him down. And it worked.
Yeah.
But I really admire him for that. But he'll score when he needs it as well. He could be a high flyer. I gave him my own nickname last year. I call him Mr. Smooth, but he says that's not really my nickname. He says my lifelong nickname is Spider-Man. So we'll call him Spider-Man.
I've heard Spider-Man a couple times.
That's what they call him, I guess, in grade school. And he must have been tall when he was young. So
yeah. So they take off their shirts and they reveal the purple on yellow. So the Montreal Jazz will be in the all green get-up. Meanwhile, London will have the purple tops and white shorts. They're just about to get underway here at Budweiser Gardens as they do their initial video setup.
A modest turnout for weeknight, Thursday night, or a Saturday night. So I mean, a weekend. It's only a modest turnout. But there are 3 parades going on this time. I just came from St. Thomas, where the parade's going on right now.
Yep.
So I got to get to the game, so lots of people are going to the parade, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Maybe they'll be here later.
As everyone does the standing clap thing, it didn't really work out the first game. They tried to get everyone to keep staying, and actually they didn't score a basket until I think it was about 5. Do you remember that game? About 4 or 5 minutes into it seemed, and everyone had been sat down and already had a sip of their beer.
Well, I think, London is by nature conservative. We know that. Even those high-flying London Knights who are been good for the last 10 years, it's still a bit quiet in there until maybe the first hit or the first goal, and then the crowd really gets going.
Yep.
I think everybody's getting educated here with the London Lightning as well. It's a nice atmosphere here. You can sit pretty close as a fan.
Exactly. It's always a good atmosphere here. They seem to be filling it up fairly well as they line it up. It's Williams versus Ibrahim for the center. As we are just underway here at Budweiser Gardens. Montreal win it. They move it down. Now here comes Leveros as he was blocked quick.
That's Mims, a veteran that they picked up this year. He is very good on transition defense. We noticed that last game against Oshawa.
Going to take a quick shot here. Going to fall back down, and now the Jazz are on the move. So here comes Michel. Moves it to Leveros, and that will just go out of play there.
That's Tim Ellis doing a rotation on defense, knocking the ball out of bounds. Like I was saying earlier, I think he's probably the best defensive player from last year that is back. We're still learning some of the new players this year. See what they bring. I have been impressed with Mims.
Yeah, Mims has done very well. As you see Delarue making a little move, takes a fadeaway jump and airball.
I didn't see it. You see it? I didn't see the travel.
Maybe we're farther away from the court than when we thought.
I didn't see it. Guess it's not NBA after all. So
yep.
They always give him an extra step in that league.
Bowden moves it down low. He has Lewis on the move here. He's going to pass it to Lewis. Lewis shifts it over to Ellis. Ellis plays it down to Mims. Mims just takes a shot, and it's good.
Yeah, he showed that last game. We were here last week against Oshawa. A couple of early jumpers in there. You got to respect him, and then he went hard to the hoop a couple times. So we're still learning some of the players' games, of course. It's a lot of transition in the league.
As Ibrahim with a nice little layup there. Almost reached around Bowden there.
That's an Akeem Olajuwon shot. Nice little turnaround hook shot.
Love
got about the same size as him, 6'10".
Here's Lewis. Shifts it out to Mims. Mims just does a little fake there. Shifts, plays it to Bowden. He finds it down low. And that'll be a foul.
He's a tough cover.
Yeah.
When he lowers his shoulder, he's a half a step away from me. You can't stop Bowden anymore. He's a lot stronger than he looks.
And they will have an inbound here, as it will be Ellis to take it. There's a fake. There's a couple options. Bowden stretches. He will get to him. As now has a couple players moving yet. He takes it to Mims, and again all alone. Makes some more space. Goes all the way to the hoop, and it's in.
Just like we said, they had to respect his jump shot. He made his jump shot last time. A little up fake, and the defender bit, and he drove right to the hoop.
Yeah, a similar play again. And I mean, if you have all those tools, why not keep using them? As we have Ibrahim Just takes a shot.
He looks like Olajuwon, doesn't he?
He does.
You remember Hakeem Olajuwon?
Yeah,
Hakeem the Dream.
I do.
Rockets.
Yeah.
He looks like him.
Lewis shifts in. Oh, breaks through. Oh, and elects to pass to Mims, and it's up. It's good.
Mims is the man.
So now the score is Lightning 6, Jazz 2.
Oh, no,
We're 2
it's
minutes
Alvin
into it.
Mims 6, Jazz 2. He's got all 6 points.
That's fair. As Mims taking an early charge into this one. Delarue passes it off. It's up, and it's no good. As Bowden will collect for London, and now here they go on the fast break. He has Lewis breaking in. He elects to take it to Mims. As you said, all points in this game for London have been from him. Williams battles, takes the shot, and it's back off the backboard.
Yeah, we're still learning Williams' game yet. I've watched him a couple times now, and he doesn't look that comfortable underneath, but I've heard reports that he is pretty good offensively, but struggling so far this year.
Yeah, he seems, well, I mean, he seems like a good player, but obviously he pales in comparison with Thomas in terms of Thomas's size and ability.
Well, DeAndre Thomas.
he's a
not
little
going to find much bigger guys than that.
No.
I don't care what league you're playing in.
As we saw the Jazz there get 3 points, I believe. As now Livros passes it off. Livros takes a shot for 3, no good. Still intercepted again, and a nice move by Ibrahim. That must be how he's getting his points.
He's a leading scorer, and he's a leading rebounder for the team, and so far we can see why.
So now we have Bowden moving it up for the Lightning in their new purple uniforms. Mims takes a fadeaway, and it won't go.
Oh, I had a basket like that the other night, too. I couldn't believe how does it physically come back out? That was all the way down.
Yeah, I'm sure he couldn't think he couldn't actually score on those plays. So far tonight, he's been pretty much on fire. As here comes Bowden. Bowden breaks ahead. Oh, finds Ellis. Nice move.
Once you're in the key, he's got good ups and a good finish, Tim Ellis. That was a nice cut and a good pass by Bowden. Jazz
are still keeping pace with the Lightning. It's 8-7 with 8:10 on the clock. Levros. They shifted all the way out to Ibrahim.
Shooting.
Yeah.
No, he didn't look pretty on that one.
Well, no, but he seems to be has a down low presence and also up top. As here comes Lewis now. Breaks in, takes a couple fakes, and the ref will not like that one. It's traveling.
Called him a travel. I thought it was a reach-in foul.
As
we said off the top of the show as well, really impressed by this new pickup for London Lightning. Morgan Lewis.
He has been fantastic and brings the energy every time. It just seems like he's just always, one of the best players on the team.
Well, he played with Oshawa last year. If I remember my facts right, they gave a couple of draft picks away as well as some cash to get him. And he wanted to come play for Michael Ray Richardson.
Who wouldn't? He seems like obviously, he's Michael Ray Richardson. Also, he won the championship, so he must be doing something right in terms of his coaching.
He's a proven winner, Richardson, of course, in his career and CBA as well. 4-time winner there. And he calls on a lot of his former players to come up and play for him as well.
Exactly. And if you build those relationships, then they're always going to come back. As we have Michelle moving it, takes a shot. Oh, and a big block.
And a foul to compound it, no less.
Yeah. Bowden got all the way up. I don't know how many blocks Bowden will get this season.
He's a tough defender, Bowden.
Yes. That was a great little move there as the Lightning will regain possession, starting with this inbound on the baseline. And Mims will take it and pass it to Bowden.
Well, Montreal, they are so far statistically the worst team in the league, but turnovers they're not so bad in, actually. Turnovers and steals. In those two categories, they're doing all right. There's a nice block as well.
Yeah, and that's a nice block from Ibrahim there. It's a good defensive team. As we see again, another nice defensive move.
I think that was Mims underneath. They got hacked. That was a good little head fake he gave.
Yeah.
I think that was a pass from Bowden again, doing a little penetration right into the key. Once you're there, you're pretty dead as a defense.
And we will have Mims, who will go to the line. Got a pretty good game so far. He's went 3 for 4 rather from the field.
And, makes his first foul shot.
Well, as he keeps the points piling. So it is 9-7 for the Lightning with 7:26 on the clock here at the Budweiser Gardens.
Well, starters, there's 3 starters back from, let's see, we got Bowden, Ellis, 2 starters from last year. Mims is a new player with a starter. So they only have 2 starters basically back. See that big jam there by Williams? Maybe that's how he gets all his offensive points. He plays above the rim.
He's proven everyone wrong, apparently, as now we have Delarue passes it down low into Mendez.
And a block, no less. Wow, by Williams on the tallest man in the court.
Bowden shifts it off to Ellis. He goes and finds the rim.
He can finish, Ellis, no problem. But again, another good assist. from Anthony Bowden.
And quickly, the Jazz try to keep it moving through Delarue, as that will be a holding call.
Ticky-tack foul.
Yeah.
You're familiar with that term, ticky-tack?
A little bit, as we have a few changes for the Jazz, as they make all 5 substitutions. I'm going to start calling them as I see them.
5 on 5. This is going to be tough on you, Marty.
Mark Danielle, Relic Hugh, and we have Sheree Thomas. I believe Terrence Licorice is in there. And then also Dwayne and Damian Buckley should also be in there. Yes, there's... Yeah, both of them are there. So, again, they only have 10 players, so they're making a full change. As they take a quick shot, and Buckley gets it.
Nice looking jump shot, good inbounds play.
That was Damian Buckley. There are 2 Buckleys on this team. I assume they're brothers, Dwayne and Damian. As Bowden passes out to Ellis. Ellis finds it, pushes off, gets a little bit of space, and it will drop for him.
All right, one almost got wet coming down. A high arcing from Tim Ellis. 15-9 for the Lightning over the Jazz. Midway through the first quarter.
Fantastic looking shot there as the Jazz will set up. Thomas takes the shot and no good, as Mark Danielle Reliquie will not bring that one down. Williams with the big catch and the big layup.
Smart move. Was out of position to catch that ball for a flush, so he got his balance and just put an easy layup in. I like that.
He's a real target man up there, it seems. He can go up and get those balls if he'd like.
He ran the floor very well after that rebound. First man down the floor, got rewarded from Anthony Bowden.
Here comes a quick little battle. It'll drop out to Reliquie as we have the Buckleys passing it off. As that was Dwayne to Damian. As now they switch. Here comes Bowden. Bowden looks around, finds the pick, gives it out to Lewis. Lewis chips it to Bowden. 0 for 3 points. That will not drop, but Williams wins it. Here comes Mims, and then to Tim Ellis. That's no good.
They can do better than that. They didn't need that 3-point shot from Tim. No. A little bit of a rush there.
Well, especially when you consider the fact that it was all too easy on the rebound as well. They didn't have anyone down low to even pick up a rebound.
They've been getting inside no problem, London as well. So I'd keep pounding them inside if I were London Lightning. Make them work on defense. Nice little fake. Looked like a foul there to me, none called.
Thomas puts it up for the Jazz. So it's now 17-11 with 5 minutes left. Bowden shifts it down low to Lewis. 17 seconds on the shot clock as he takes a fake. And another nice fake, and that won't drop as Ellis wins it. And who did it go out of? It will now go. It'll be a timeout. So a TV timeout for us here as the Lightning are currently up 17-11. Who's been performing well this game? I think it's obvious Mims is one of them.
Well, Mims started off hot, and it looks like Williams has taken over later in the quarter. Considering that Quebec or Montreal is quite a big team, he's getting a lot of space in there, Williams.
Absolutely.
I was going to say something for the fans maybe that noticed that the ball was on the rim and people were trying to grab it or push it or take it off the rim. That is allowed in the NBL. They are following the FIBA rules as international basketball. So as once the ball has either hit the backboard on its way down or hit the rim, that ball is fair game. You can pluck it right out of there or push it back in if you can get up there, which wouldn't be me, of course, but maybe you either, judging by your height there, Marty. But
thank you, I appreciate it.
The guys on the court, they absolutely can get up there and they can push it back in if they wanted to.
And that's exactly what happened there on that one point from Williams. I mean, he's a big enough guy that, yeah, you can really use those rules to get up and kind of help yourself. Also, Ibrahim for Montreal.
Yeah.
Got 16 points last game.
Well, I can see why.
Already coming out and showing why. You know, he's obviously one of the best players on this team.
Yeah, I still haven't heard much from our vaunted Canadian player yet, Juan Mendez. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Number 10 on the court.
He's only got a couple touches, I think. Nothing too major. So
we'll have to see how Montreal adjusts. It's interesting they're playing 5 guys on, 5 guys on. They're actually must be building towards something. Usually you don't see that in the pros. No. Usually you got your first 2 or 3 subs off the bench, and then it's all situational after that, or matchups. You know, bigs or smalls, or what kind of style you're playing. You don't usually see 5 and 5 on.
I guess
in the pro leagues.
I guess if you're in Montreal, you're used to playing hockey, so maybe they're just doing full shifts.
Yeah, la habitant, le Canadien. I got you.
As we now have the London Lightning lining up here. Ellis plays it off. Lewis battles, chips it right back out to Ellis.
Man, oh man, that's the cardinal rule in inbounds play. The most dangerous guy is the guy out of bounds. You got to
ran-
keep an eye on him after he passes the ball in bounds.
Just ran back across as we now have a long shot from
Big board in
Licorice
there
as that
by-
didn't go in. But another quick battle here as the ball will now go out.
Well, Montreal working hard in the offensive boards, but the Lightning between Williams and Mim, they really shutting it down in there. Here's another 5-on-5 off.
Yeah, so there we go. They're
My
taking the full
goodness.
shift. The defense and the forward lines making a shift as now we have the existing starting lineup. As we also see DeAndre Thomas coming on in place of Williams.
Yes, trying to counteract the height from Ibrahim.
Maybe height and weight. As we now have Delarue. Tries to play it off in a long ball up to Michel. Now back to Delarue. He's going to battle, and he can't get around, but he gets the pass off as they're still cycling fairly well. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Maybe should start making a move now. Michel signals his player to move in. Ibrahim can't get the ball, and now it's off to Bowden and away to the races.
Great layup there. He just cut right in front of his man, gave his man, the defensive man, no chance to block that layup. He was trying to block it, but there was no way with Anthony Bowden cutting in front of him like that.
So that puts the Lightning in a familiar position. 10 points up. It's 21-11 with 4 minutes on the clock.
We're still in the first quarter, you know.
Exactly. As it's
I'm just doing my math here. You know, we got 4 minutes left, and 4 times 21 is 84, so we're going to hit 100 points, I think, no problem.
Well, you know what? It's one of those things because in the last game, the London beat Oshawa 153-115, and they started with 43 points in the first quarter.
In the first quarter alone.
Unbelievable amount of points
crazy.
Getting out of the gate as we see it again here. Here comes Ibrahim as Lewis with a nice individual effort, and Tom spinning down. Now here comes Bowden with a two-pointer, no good. Great defensive effort as Bowden again with another defensive effort. Who would have thought he'd be so agile?
Well, I think he's trying to play hard for some playing time. He's not a starter. He's playing hard for Coach Michael Ray Richardson, of course, and he always appreciates the effort. Nice adjustment in the air by Tim Ellis. That pass was too far for that alley-oop dunk. But Morgan Lewis is running the floor with him. Nice little pass. Up in the air. I call him Mr. Smooth, but we can call him Spider-Man.
As Delarue just passes it to no one in particular, as we have another 5-man shift for the Jazz.
That was not even a 1-minute shift. Minute 16 seconds, that shift.
That's short for hockey.
Wow.
But, I mean, when you see that, I mean, what do you have to think? Do you think that these coaches are running certain systems for certain teams or mini teams within a club? Like, how does that work? I mean, what are they doing?
I got to say, at this moment, I'm a little puzzled on the Montreal strategy, but we'll see how the game goes. Like, their best two players are sitting on the bench, Ibrahim and Mendez. Yeah. And they're down by 12, and they're sitting on the bench.
Exactly, and they're throwing out a group that, you know, probably gave up, you know, at least half of this deficit right now. You know, that it wasn't like they had a good run out the first time, as we now have
as opposed to Richardson's style. He's only had one sub so far, DeAndre Thomas, and that was strategic, right? Because Ibrahim's back on the floor.
Exactly. Lewis to Bowden as he was outmatched by Buckley. Buckley plays it up to Reliquik as he plays it across to the other Buckley. It's still not over yet. They'll throw it back, and there will be a foul on the play.
I think he did an extra step there. DeAndre Thomas kept his position, and he gave him the body, and he created a turnover there by making him do a travel.
As it is now 23-11 for the Lightning over the Montreal Jazz. 2:38 on the clock. Bowden moves it across, finds Thomas down low. Oh, a nice pass off to Ellis. It's too easy.
Too easy is right. That's a set play. I call that the Statue of Liberty play. That's what I call it whenever I run my team. The guard has it on the wing, and the player who's going to finish is sitting at the foul line like a Statue of Liberty with his arms up, just standing there. You put the ball in low, and all of a sudden he goes to the hoop.
And I mean, having a guy like Thomas wherever you want is fantastic for just about anything you want to do in basketball. Pick and rolls, everything. It's always useful to have that kind of guy.
Well, that was a nice cut away from the ball and a great little bounce pass, you notice, as well by DeAndre Thomas. Get it into Tim Ellis. As
Ellis will not drop that one, but a 3-point, and that will not drop for Reliquik, as that will go out off of Thomas. So now the London Lightning will regain.
Well, I'm just looking. It doesn't say the ages of the players here on the lineups that we have, but I'm really getting the impression that the Montreal Jazz are a very young team as well.
Yes, I do know one age, and that Mendez is 31, but obviously it's a player that we all know and that we could properly research. But yes, you're correct. Why not have a young team at this point? See who can't retain and see who can't make better. Bowden takes a shot from distance. That's a three-pointer.
Well, Montreal went to his own defense, and all of a sudden London makes 7 or 8 passes to create the opening, and Bowden buries it from the top.
And Bowden just instantly takes the ball back, and up to Lewis.
Showtime! Showtime!
That was all too easy, as it's 30-11.
Mamma mia, this game is going to get away in a hurry for Montreal if they don't start paying attention and holding on to the ball.
I think I've had 2 birthdays since the Jazz have scored a point. As now here they move it around. Takes a shot, and that'll drop for Buckley.
That was better. That was in the rotation of the play set that Montreal had.
As Thomas tries to get up there, but maybe he can't quite jump.
Well, I think that pass, Bowden's taking the credit for making a poor pass there. The big man was running the floor hard, trying to get down there for a fast break, but he just overthrew him.
As we have the Jazz moving up in the green and Lightning in their unusual purple jerseys. Buckley has to find a man, chips it out. So now we have Reliquie moving in and up and over and in, so a nice little move there.
Nobody stepped in to shut the lane down.
It seemed all too
London.
easy.
This is one thing I think Coach Michael Ray, I think he's pretty happy with his offensive set. Who wouldn't be when he's scoring that many points? But I know last year he really wanted to work hard on points against. He was taking a lot of pride in points against his team, and right now he's on the lower echelon of that. In fact, they're almost giving up 100 points a game. I know over the course of the season, I am sure he wants to get that back to around 90, 91 where they were last year.
Well, they're actually at 99, so just under the
something.
So yeah, point.
So I'm not giving them any credit for that. So 100 points.
0.3% off. Yeah, and
There
you're
you
right.
go.
They don't have the same kind of defensive discipline as we saw Thomas there trying to make a little move.
Well, defense is not only about, like everybody says, defense is about effort. But in the pros, it's not only effort, it's knowing what your other players are capable of doing and if they're going to help you out or not. Most players at this level, even this level, the NBL, they're hard to guard one-on-one. Like even if you're a really good defender, you're not going to shut anybody down. It's just not possible. In the NBA, of course, you can't. So a help defense takes brains and chemistry. So I think Coach Michael Ray is giving a little bit of a slack at the moment with his defensive sets because players need to learn each other. There's only 4 returning guys. So you got 8 other guys got to learn how to play with the set. So team defense takes a while to learn. And it really shows right now on Montreal with no players back from last year.
As we have 15 seconds on the clock, Lightning are up 32-15. Oh, right out at the line, as it seemed as if Mr. Licorice had a hard time getting it going, but Mr. Lewis doesn't.
That gets the crowd going. Way too many easy runouts for the Lightning.
As that will be the end of the first quarter, as everyone is standing on their feet and clapping for this London Lightning team.
Well, let's do the math. 4 times 34. What's that going to come to?
I don't even want to add that up.
Well, that's 136. Oh, my goodness.
And I mean, I just have to say that, yeah, the crowd just absolutely just started cheering and chanting and clapping once those guys started to come up. And it was the same thing with Thomas. I mean, Thomas making those moves. Everyone's into this one because they're looking so good right now.
Well, it's all coming all too easy right now against Montreal. Like we said, defense is a team thing, and they are a brand new team in essence, with all new players as well. And that really shows on the court, and we notice there's lots of youth out there as well.
I mean, we did say at the beginning that the Jazz were, known for their steals, known for their defensive play. Currently in blocks, the Lightning are ahead of that with 5-1. Turnovers are 7-5 in favor of the Jazz, and the steals are actually 5-3 in favor of the Lightning. So not the same kind of defensive numbers that, maybe the Jazz need at this point in order to close this gap.
Well, I see London's out-rebounding the Jazz as well, 13-8. And even in last year's championship run with London, at best, they were staying even with all the other teams who were rebounding. Typically, they're on the other end, the losing end of the rebounding, statistically the whole year. And I know that's another thing that Coach Michael Ray really went out and tried to get this year, and we can see with Andre Thomas, not too many people can get offensive boards off of him. And that's one gap he's really trying to close this year. Well, only 50 points scored by the Jazz, part of it because of their own poor play, but also pretty good defense by London that first quarter. We saw good offense, but only 15 points to their opponent. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and if I want to do the math on that, I think that'll mean that they'll keep them underneath 100 points if it keeps going the way it will, as we are just about to break off of the break, as we have the dance pack leaving the court and the players returning. So just starting the second quarter here on sportslive.ca.
They're back with their starting lineup, Montreal looks like.
Yep. From shift number one, team number one, I should say, out of the two that they have been running with, as we now have Delarue, I think, taking the inbound, or there's some arguments here as to who will take it. But regardless, the Montreal Jazz will start with the ball here at the second quarter at Budweiser Gardens.
And Lightning is still with 3 starters still on, Ellis, Bowden, and Lewis. And then their first sub off the bench was Thomas, and now it looks like they got Blackburn in for the second. So Michael Ray playing just his usual game strategy plan. Starters play a lot early in the game. Subs come in a little bit later, and then depends what goes on, they play more or less. That's a nice move by Mendez there.
Yeah, Mendez battling down low and not quitting on that ball, trying to shift it in.
Down to him there. He's a big man. He can shoot too, but he's a big man. I call him a wide body. You know, he takes up a lot of space down there.
Wide body and also wide arms. He just seems like a really muscular guy who, you know, in terms of who can face off against players like DeAndre Thomas, he's about the only one.
Well, and also one of the very few veteran players that has gone through the college ranks at a high level, played some pro as well. I do believe he had some spot duty with the Canadian national team as well, if I'm remembering. He played a stint with them as well, if I remember correctly. I have to do a little bit more homework on that. But
I believe he did as well.
I think that was under the Leo Routen's era, I believe.
Yeah, and he's a native of Montreal, so playing with his hometown team as Lewis plays it off to Bowden. Bowden with a nice little fake. Plays it off to Lewis. Nice fake, and he's all the way in. So
nice left-hand finish. That was just a great up and under move.
Just cutting them down here as Lightning are up 36-16 as, hey now, Michel made a meal of trying to catch that one.
Here's Ibrahim, a little jumper. Not good that time. He looked good earlier in the quarter from down under. I might have to take my Akeem Olajuwon description back if he doesn't keep playing well.
He needs more space hooks as we have Mr. Blackburn going
that was Blackburn, right? Oh, yeah, sorry. The headband, yep.
Yeah, Blackburn going all the way to the hoop as now we have Delarue with the ball. Tries to shift it down low, gets it to Ibrahim, plays up top. Now a nice little shift as they're moving it across.
Three-point shot.
Easily taken by Thomas as that was going to go down as an air ball. Now here comes Blackburn as he'll float it in. Now to Bowden for three maybe. No good. As it gets the rebound, Blackburn unable to bring that one down.
Good set there. They're really pushing the ball, London. Little alley-oop scoop shot.
Oh, that looks beautiful as Montreal unable to get the rebound, but it's still not over yet. Let's see what they can do. Ibrahim plays it. Oh, a nice little play up to Libras as Thomas battles him down, and you could tell Thomas is a fan favorite. Whenever he gets the ball, everyone's cheering and carrying on.
That looked like it was going to be right through the key for a slam dunk, and DeAndre Thomas not going to have anything to do with it.
I mean,
that was a hard foul. It was a good foul, but it was a hard foul. No freebies from the London Lightning tonight.
And yeah, a couple of changes here coming on. But yeah, I mean, Thomas is a player that you can't even have on the court for too long because he'll get too many fouls, and that can obviously add up.
But Mendez is coming off the court again. He hasn't even played 2 minutes in this quarter. I don't know if he's hurt or what, but I'm really surprised he's not playing more minutes based on his reputation.
He seemed to avoid head coach Hasbani's handshake almost, as we now have Libras at the line for Montreal. He will sink it, so that makes the total 38-18 for the Lightning. 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Williams shifted over to Moss. Williams from distance. It's there.
There it is. That's the reputation we were hearing about. He looked pretty comfortable doing that. That was a nice quick pass by Adrian Moss there, the quick little guard that's taken the first sub off the bench for D'Anthony Bowden, running the team.
And I think Moss is one of the better players that they have had this season, as an easy layup there from Ibrahim.
Yeah, they need to keep going to Ibrahim.
As he seems to be the only one really putting in anything at the moment.
They can barely make a shot from the outside so far, Montreal. They only made a couple outside jumpers. I always think they should keep popping into Ibrahim, and once he's double teamed, he can kick it out for an easy look.
Damian Buckley coming on in place of Delarue, as now we have Lightning with the ball. Here comes Lewis. Tries to play off Williams, but it didn't quite work. He'll do it all himself. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Size mismatch there. He just backed his player right down and got the foul. Smart play by Morgan Lewis.
As now that will go out. So that was Damien Buckley, the recent substitute. That'll be his first foul of the game.
Well, we got the, you see who's taking the ball out of bounds. One of the best nicknames of all time, pro or anyone. Rodney, the Sheriff Buford. Let's see if he gets hot.
That is, as Lewis passed it to a patron, the ball went off to a patron. But yes, the Sheriff that's a fantastic.
That's a great nickname, especially when he's on fire because he can shoot. And then all of a sudden those 6-gun shooters come out. There's Williams again. Look at that.
I shot the Sheriff. As we now have Williams with a nice 2-pointer.
Yeah, he's really come on the last 7 or 8 minutes.
43-20 as well as London match their first quarter total from last game, so they're obviously slacking. As we now have the Jazz moving the ball around. Plays it down low in the Ligros as they'll lose the ball. As Williams with a nice little run and scoop and almost hurt someone on the sidelines there.
Looks like I think a London player may have kicked it out, or it's
must have been off the Jazz.
Yep.
As we'll now have Jules Michel coming off in place of number 4 Licorice. And also Ibrahim is coming off as well. So
I'm getting the feeling that he's just trying to get his players all kinds of playing time and building for more later on in the season, because definitely these subs don't make sense to me if you're trying to win the game.
And they're quick. They're almost, whistle to whistle kind of thing. As Ibrahim's had 6 points, he leads his team, but maybe not the performance he wants from his star player just at the moment. As we now have another change, as we will have number 5 Murray coming on.
Tyler Murray, a Canadian for London Lightning out of Wagner College. He's one of their all-time, I think, 3rd all-time leading scorer in the school history there. Played Division I as well.
As we have Moss missing the first one for London. It's 43-20 with 8:49 on the clock. I'm going to try your name again, John. Thank you for tuning in to SportsLive.ca. My name is Marty Thompson. I'm alongside John Van Houwelingen.
Very good. I love it. I've been called a lot worse.
As we're calling this game for you tonight, there's a call on the play.
Oh, looks like a blocking foul, a football foul underneath. Number 4 from Quebec just running over Williams, Terrence Licorice.
As we'll now have...
I'm not sure how you pronounce the name, folks. Any Montreal fans out there, let us know.
Yeah, I just go with Licorice. We now have Moss moving it up for the Lightning. He plays it off to Buford. Buford back to Moss. Moss, he's got the speed as he executes it there. Plays it off to Williams. That will just go out of play. My apologies,
Blackburn, I think, stepping out of bounds with his back foot. Moss is a very quick. There was a good article in the paper this week in the London Free Press of the battles going on between Adrian Moss and Anthony Bowden in practice. 2 point guards playing against each other. Hammer and tongue, none given a quarter, but afterwards they're shaking hands, they're best of friends afterwards. What a great way for Moss to learn the pro level.
Exactly, but Moss is just so good. I've been really impressed with his kind of play. He was drafted 6th overall this year in the NBL, and he's been showing why he's been drafted that high, as we have a nice little layup chance there for Murray.
Good drive to the hoop by Murray with a nice little baseline pass from Moss.
Now here comes a quick shot there, as that came from Thomas, as that makes it 43-24.
Well, Quebec or Montreal only shooting 28% on the game so far, 67% for London. They're getting a lot of free looks. Here comes the Sheriff with his first one.
As he can shoot, but he's not hitting the target just yet. As we have the Jazz moving it down now.
Well, like we say, shooting percentage is important. Jazz have had as many attempts at the basket as London, but they're only shooting less than 30%. Give a lot of credit to London for that, but I think a lot of poor choices from Montreal Jazz with shots.
There's the first one. Comes through. Yep, that's his first if you're counting at home, kids. As Buford comes through with one.
Let's see if he gets on fire. If he makes 3 in a row, that's officially on fire in my books. As you'll see the 6 guns come out.
As we now have the ball cross back, as they only have 10 seconds to set up. Maybe they won't set up at all as Buckley moves in. 5 seconds, tries to shift it, goes all the way to himself, and it's in. Nice little move there.
Layup.
Damian Buckley coming through. Oh, here we go.
Mamma mia. Great over top of the biggest guy on the court, Williams. Guys, for that one.
Just comes right through, just over the Jazz player. It's really next level stuff we're seeing out here tonight.
Well, I told you earlier in the game that Williams had a reputation for offense. We had not really seen it this year yet, but this game he's coming alive.
Blackburn moves it down, tries to shift it, puts his back into it a little bit. Williams out to Moss. They're calling
good
it just
unselfish play there.
Yeah, nice little pass as we now have the Jazz moving it back again. Buckley goes again. Nice little fake again. So Damian Buckley with another
doing
nice
doing the right thing, going hard to the hoop until
Yep.
he gets stopped. There are a couple tough running layups there, but he's buried them.
He's been doing everything he needs to do. As Blackburn with an easy layup there. Why wouldn't they put pressure on him there?
Montreal, I just think they're really inexperienced. I really do. And they've been getting killed at the basket, so they're giving up the easy jump shot, and Blackburn made it. So,
and it could
like you
just
said, London's shooting 67%, which is a very high percentage.
Yeah, it's almost a technical problem as we have yet another TV timeout as the Dance Pack will move their way onto the field, or the court rather. As I mean, yeah, it seems as if it's just technical issues of not being able to just put the ball in the net for the Montreal Jazz.
Not very many fouls committed either. There's only 4 foul attempts by Montreal in the game so far, and 5 for London. So everybody's, well,
kind of staying
a lot of easy looks. I think London's getting a lot better looks, hence their percentage is way higher. A lot of Montreal shots are not good looks, and the last couple they made on those driving layups. Turnovers, 11 for Montreal, only 6 for London Lightning. 5 blocks already for the London Lightning, only 1 for the Jazz.
As we now have the Canadian Tire race, this is by far my favorite part of the entire thing. As the center one gets a good lead, and she's going to keep battling. It almost seems like she's pushing the car. That doesn't seem very fair. I think the referees will have to have a look at this one. She's going all the way down the middle. She seems like she's on the way. She just needs to keep it straight. And she's going to push it. Oh, this is going to be tight. Who could it be? Oh, a late push on the person on the side.
Oh, assist there. A little turbo boost at the end.
Oh, that was perfectly weighted, as she just waited for the last possible chance to put that one in. Congratulations, you won something. As we now have the Jazz.
I think he wins a T-shirt and a 4-pack. I think I heard in the dressing room or in the room. 4-pack's like 4 tickets for a family.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
hey,
sort of cool, and a T-shirt. So.
Yeah, it's better than a 6-pack. I didn't know. Anyway.
Yeah, no, kids, these are kids we're talking about. I'm just looking at the other stat there. You look at points in the paint for London. Look at the disparity, 28-14.
And I mean, they're using, you know, considering the fact that if you look right now at Ibrahim and then also Mendez, 2 bigger guys, they haven't been really able to use that height against these guys. And London's been all over them. As we have Williams moving it. Blackburn again with a similar layup shot, and it's in.
Everybody's feeling it. Everybody's feeling it. Yeah, Montreal just backing off and letting them give the easy jumper. As soon as you're in the key, that's a gimme shot, right? Anybody that plays in the basketball, so you get into the key and you got a shot, you're taking it every time.
And it seems like he could just go from anywhere, not even the key. It seemed as if maybe Buford got a little touch on that ball, as they will now regain it. Mendez plays off a nice little fake there, and he fell on it.
Yes, at the shot clock buzzer. He had to force it, time was running out.
Yeah, not bring that one down. As the Sheriff marshals his men.
Good fun, I love it. Good take on words there.
Boss.
Marshals his posse or something. I love it, yes. I think two guys cutting underneath there. I think Tyler Murley there wasn't supposed to be cutting back door, I don't think. So.
Send us anything. I'm sure we'll be able to respond to it here. Second quarter might be a different game than normal. People just talk and seems like this will be a lot.
Well, I don't see a lot coming out of Montreal so far. They look a little bit what would I say, not as organized as the team on the floor. Right now, London has good energy, good body language on the court. Every player who comes on has a lot of confidence, it looks like. And they got a green light to take the shot when they're supposed to take it, and right now they're making it. And so that's going to be good for down the road for London Lightning. Montreal needs to find their equilibrium back again. They don't know what's hit them so far. 51 points already in the game for the London Lightning. Going to be another high-scoring one for them.
As we now have both teams coming back onto this one. Yeah, why not? A live band performance. I already heard them doing the Arkells' Oh, the Boss is Coming, which is one of my favorite songs ever. So I'm very excited to see that as we now have Williams moving at pace. Nice fadeaway, but no finish.
Good shot clock awareness is all he had left, really. So, low percentage. Here coming in big again. Ibrahim, and here finally is Mendez set for his three-pointer, unable to convert, but that comes from Ibrahim out back out to Mendez, and I think they need to keep doing that over and over again. Like I said, everybody from London's got confidence coming on the floor. They're making every shot, and Montreal doesn't know which way to go.
4 minutes left in the second quarter. It's 54-28 for the London Lightning. So
everything that can go wrong is going wrong for Montreal.
Yeah, this has been kind of a rough game to watch if you're a Montreal fan. As again, we have Richardson out there yelling and screaming and carrying on, going all the way to half.
You wouldn't know he's up by 24 or 5 points, eh?
Yeah. I mean, he's
always coaching his players, always.
Always upset. I think it's one of the best coaching techniques you could have.
Not necessarily upset, but he is just fascinated with details. He is a detail kind of guy. He wants you to run to a certain spot, run the play a certain way over and over again until you got it down right. And he called a timeout because we had two guys cutting back door. Murray shouldn't have been. He called a timeout. They're up by 25 points in the game. Like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
But he's teaching them, right? It's early in the season. He's teaching them where you got to go on the floor. Not only on defense, but he does it on offense quite often. You'll see him call a timeout even when he's ahead in the game, just to make a point to the players. Let's run that play again, and let's do it the right way this time. And that's what he's doing. He's not necessarily upset, but he just pushes them.
And a great coach to have in a developmental league like this.
Absolutely.
And I mean, yeah, you're all about getting better, and that's kind of the main thing. As we have Mr. Louis Patrick Livros, who got the and one, as now it's 54-31. Here come the Lightning in the form of Moss. Moss falls down, gets the ball up. Nice little move here yet. Murray moves it around and gets the Buford, and it's in.
What a quick thinking. If he had an underhand scoop that ball would have been blocked if he held it up high. He sensed his man was right beside him, did the underhand scoop without, I don't know how he even knew the guy was there. That was a great little touch.
Boys against men tonight. As Ibrahim takes a shot and it wasn't any good, as now they will track back and the Lightning will be hot on their tails. Moss plays out to Blackburn, now to Buford. Buford shifts it off as Murray takes a nice little cut, plays it off to Moss. Right in there. Oh, and tried to ring it around, but no good there.
The biggest guy, he had nowhere to go against Ibrahim. 6'10 versus 5'9. Law of physics is going to win there.
As we now have...
See, here's Ibrahim again. Nice spin move on the baseline. Going hard to the hoop. That should be a foul. And they call him for a travel.
Williams
did everything right there, Ibrahim, and so did Montreal. Unfortunately, travel there. They got to keep doing that and not go away from it. They'll start getting rewarded for it.
Well, number 11 and number 10, Ibrahim and Mendez, are down there and just battling and give them everything that they've got.
Ibrahim's off the floor again. Oh, my goodness. If I were a Montreal Jazz fan, I'd be pretty darn frustrated right now.
Dwayne Buckley comes off amongst all those players as we now have the Lightning on the attack. Blackburn plays a nice little fake off to Moss. Oh, and a nice play off for Buford, and it's in.
He put a lot of zip on that pass, Moss, because that was going to be a steal if he didn't really whip that ball across.
Good defensive.
The defender had an angle on that ball.
Oh, good defensive awareness yet to try to make that kind of play. As we're 2 minutes left into this one, the score is 58-31 for the Lightning. As we now have a little move here yet from Thomas. Played it outside yet to Livros, and now it's Thomas again. Thomas in a battle with Moss, and Moss never thought he'd win a strength battle, but he does against the Jazz.
I'm just watching the Jazz when they're making their passes, and nobody is ready to shoot the ball. Everybody's standing flat-footed. They're watching the guy dribble the ball. Oh, the ball's in my hands, and now I'll do something. you got to be ready to shoot, dribble, or pass as soon as the ball comes to you. You can't wait, look around, and decide what you're going to do afterwards. And almost to a man, the Montreal players are catching the ball flat-footed, not understanding that they need to be a triple threat at all times.
Blackburn tries to shift it up, and he won't. And there will be a call on the play here as well.
Got a little bit bailed out there. He was sort of in no man's land there. He just decided to drive between two guys and got sort of bailed out. I wouldn't give him much kudos for that other than playing hard. So.
Well, Jermaine Blackburn has done a fairly good job here coming into the game. He wasn't a starter, but he's went 3 for 4 for 6 points. So hey, why not? He got a rebound and 2 assists, so he's on pace for a pretty good game as he's at the line now.
Yeah, he's working his way up in the coach's rotation, I think. He's a new player for London Lightning as well. Lightning coach Michael Ray Richardson, of course, played in the NBA for a number of years. In the Michael Jordan era, no less. It was a 4-time NBA All-Star, and 1 year he led the league in assists and in steals in the same year. But Michael Ray, he really believes in players playing a role on his team. And so Jermaine Blackburn is starting to work towards the role he's going to play on this team. So he's playing significant minutes in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like he's got a good shot on him. He seems to be, kind of had that good awareness in terms of, when to take his shots, and also he has the ability so he can go wherever he wants to. You see a couple times he just comes in just past the three-point line and taking a shot. And he's doing a good job at that. As we have Livros battling down low, and it's up, and it's good.
A nice move there. Bounced the ball, power dribble. Backed his man off from him, a nice little scoop underhand there. Pretty short fell on the court there.
Yeah, as we now have.
Put it off the backboard nicely. But again, that's an inside basket for Montreal. I don't believe they should go away from that. They should keep going inside and then kicking it out for the shots.
As we have Buford taking a shot and missing there, and Moss goes into his
so quick he kicked the ball out himself.
And they had a couple butt slaps there as they're saying good effort, but we didn't really appreciate your shoulder in our face. Regardless, good effort as we now have the Jazz on the move. Delarue pass it off, gets the ball back yet, can battle down low. He was being double teamed there yet, as now it gets off to Thomas. Thomas can battle. 9 seconds left now in the shot clock. Plays it off, a nice stop by Delarue, but they got to go fast. 2 seconds now. Take a shot, and they will, and it won't go anywhere. And
that was a great defensive rotation by London Lightning that time. No player in Montreal had the ball more than half a second, and the player was already rotating over to him.
Great pressure as we see a lack of pressure by the Jazz. That time it was Jermaine Blackburn.
It's because they came over to double team Adrian Moss because he's so quick. They came over way too late. He still made the pass.
10 seconds left in the second quarter and first half as the Jazz waiting until that final move to make it. As there's 2 seconds now, dispossessed, and you got to go. London will take it, but it won't go.
I wouldn't have been surprised that one went in, I tell you. Everything's going right for the Lightning.
Well, I mean, do you really think they needed it? The score after the first half, Lightning 61 and Jazz 33. I mean, what's went right for the Lightning so far this one?
Well,
everything.
I think it's partly the opponent, but they are making. For them, it's starting on the defensive end. Everybody's working hard on defense. It's led out to a lot of easy baskets as well. So hence their shooting percentage is quite high. Everybody's getting a lot of touches. Everybody's coming on the floor with a lot of confidence. I said for London, not Montreal. There have been so many subs. I don't know how you build your confidence or your rhythm with so much substitutions on the Montreal Jazz. Even the veteran players are getting yanked for seems like a minor mistake or a turnover. And so hard to find rhythm for Montreal, and that's really showing their shooting percentage and their lack of poor judgment.
And maybe it's just the fact that he's just trying to maybe kind of discipline his teammates and say, you make a decision, you make something wrong out there, you do something I don't like and you're wrong.
Well, like I said, we don't know this coach at all, of course, so we're just speculating. But as a former coach myself and looking, we all watch lots of pro basketball. You don't usually see 5 on, 5 off, and such quick rotations like that.
Right.
And, so I'm a bit puzzled.
So we will see you at the end of halftime. By all means, I'm not sure if you heard me before. Apparently we had some mic troubles in there, but send me a tweet on Twitter if you're on that thing at MartyXFM News. That's MARTY XFM News, and we'll be sure to get it to you on air in the second quarter. But the score after one half of play, I should say, as the crowd erupts as that man caught something on his head. The score after one half is Lightning 61, Jazz 33. Check.
provider for your London Lightning. Come ride with the Lightning and come with modern motor coaches. Banner has different sizes for big groups or small. Give us a call at 519-433-8352 or look us up on the web at bannerbus.com. Travel safely in style and comfort. The London Lightning with Banner Bus. Delta is the official home of the London Lightning. Delta is conveniently located in the heart of London's downtown, minutes from all our business and leisure needs. Delta ensures an enjoyable experience each time you stay with us. At the Bauer Kennedy Sports Medicine Clinic, we treat patients of all ages. The Bauer Kennedy Sports Medicine Clinic is committed to excellence in research, teaching, and illness prevention. The London Lightning are lucky to have Dr. Bob Litchfield and his team at Bauer Kennedy as their official Lightning sports medicine physicians. Moffat and Bauer Road, serving you since 1956. Service, selection, and knowledge. 6 locations: Hyde Park, Mitchell, Exeter, Strathroy, Watford, and Tillsonburg. Great home start at Moffat and Bauer. Culligan is the official water supplier of the Lightning. Better water, pure and simple. Visit culligan.ca. For over 30 years, Oxford Dodge Chrysler Jeep has been putting people like you in the cars and trucks they need to live, work, and play. That's why so many of our customers keep coming back. Some for as long as 30 years.
Hello, and thank you for streaming NBL basketball on sportslive.ca and lightningbasketball.ca. It's the Lightning who are in action tonight, as I'm joined by my colleague, I'm going to try it again, John Van Houwelingen.
You got pretty good at that, Marty.
I'm pretty good at saying your name. I think that's kind of the basic thing I need to do. But so far through the first half, the score is 61-33 for the hometown Lightning over the Montreal Jazz.
Yes, and what are we going to say is the tail of the tape? Probably the points in the paint, right? 32 for the Lightning, a lot of easy baskets, reflects in their 61% field goal percentage, as opposed to only 18 the points in the paint for Montreal Jazz, and is shooting a miserable 37%.
There seems to be a pretty easy game for them. Meanwhile, I think we'll just take a step outside and see what else is happening in the NBL tonight, as there was another game that was played earlier today where Halifax lost to Moncton 109-87. Meanwhile, another game of progress that's actually in the first half as well is the Oshawa Power down to the Summerside Storm 49-47 out there in Oshawa. So
well, that's a pretty good score for Oshawa, considering they got hammered by London earlier this week, and Summerside is 4-0.
Yes.
And right now they look like to be the rivals of the London Lightning. They haven't met yet. They're 4-0, and the Lightning are 3-0. Going to be shortly 4-0 tonight.
Yeah.
So Oshawa's putting up good numbers against probably the best or second best team in the league, arguably. Looks
sure.
like Halifax got hammered there. Did I see that?
It did seem like that was kind
30
of...
points, my goodness.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a stretch for Halifax, as they actually fired their head coach this week, as he wasn't very the management really wasn't happy with a 2-3 starter. I guess it was a 1-3 when he got
Halifax,
canned,
of course, were a finalist last year, and
they have
that was a great series against the Lightning last year. We were here for the fifth and final deciding game, and that was a great series.
And obviously Halifax consider themselves to be one of the best teams in the league, alongside London, as kind of being a perennial powerhouse. So they were obviously not happy.
I still like the best name in the league for the team in the league is St. John. I love their name. St. John Millrats.
The Millrats.
Yeah, awesome. So we were doing a game last year live streaming, and then I put it out there to the St. John fans. They're like, what is a Millrat? Like, I'm only guessing at it, but I can sort of guess at it. And sure enough, it's the same equivalent like a gym rat. It's a mill rat. It's a guy who's always working hard at the mill, putting in hours, supporting his family. You know, they call him a mill rat. So it's a lot of history there with the mills in St. John. So
exactly,
St. John Mill Rats.
It makes a lot of sense. And same with Halifax. It's kind of rainy out there.
That's true, actually. We've been. That reminds me of a good story we got to talk about in Halifax with the CIS championships.
Right.
Being there held year after year after year. One of the best players of all time in those championships, of course, is the big name not playing tonight, Osvaldo Gianti.
Yes.
We haven't even mentioned him yet tonight.
Osvaldo Gianti was, actually, the game's just underway. I should just mention that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But as we get another 3-point chance here for, oh, hey, that was kind of cool.
Everything's going wrong.
Yeah. But anyways.
Even the bounce. It goes through the net, but it doesn't count.
Gianti has been signed by London, and they will release White
Yeah, Josh White has
sooner rather
has
than
been
later.
released. Yeah.
And so, I mean, Jeanty, I mean, just tell me what you know about him, because apparently you know a lot.
Well, I do. I followed his career quite closely when he was at Carleton with the Carleton Ravens. One of the few players of all time that played all 5 years university, won a national championship every year. Not only that, he was the biggest contributor, 4-time, I think, MVP, I believe, 1-time CIS Player of the Year. He was just a winner wherever he went and played pro in Germany, and now has some connections with Taylor Brown, the general manager of London Lightning. They played against each other in university ball, and Taylor reached out to him, and good time in his career that he wants to come back to Canada. And it looks like London Lightning is a place he wants to be at. The papers have not come through yet, according to...
from Germany, right? From
Germany, yeah. The papers haven't come through yet, but I believe he's sitting on the bench in street clothes. I'm really hoping to see him the next game we're out here.
Well,
Osvaldo Jeanty, one of the all-time best CIS players of all time in Canadian history.
And that's the kind of player you want to see in the NBL. You know, there's obviously a lot of American players, except for on this Montreal team, but I mean, it's always nice to see a great CIS player. So here comes Bowden, dipping it off to Ellis, and that will
and he finishes, and he's pounded to the ground. A late hit from behind. He really got exposed there, driving to the hoop.
And he's good, but he did go kind of head first.
Those are the kind of plays you can really get hurt on.
As the crowd applauds Ellis for taking that one, but a nice little push there as he'll take his time before he gets to the line.
That was a late foul. I think more of an awkward than an intentional foul, more of an awkward foul by the Montreal player.
As I believe we'll probably see Jeanty this coming Thursday.
I believe Thursday's the next game here
when they will play, guess who? Montreal, correct?
I believe Montreal's back in town, yes.
Yeah, so they will play the Montreal Jazz again. So that'll be on Thursday. That'll be our first look at Mr. Osvaldo Jeanty. As we have Ellis at the line, 65-33, make it 66-33 as Lightning continue their double. They continue their double, as it's been a continuous pace throughout this entire game. As the Jazz, too easy for Ibrahim as that ball kind of bounced into him.
Well, let's see what kind of substitution rotation we have for Montreal this second half. Because like I said, I was very puzzled on how the rotation worked for Montreal. There was no rhyme or reason to the subs. Players had a hard time getting a rhythm going. Seemed like any small mistake, they were yanked off the floor, and we were back to the almost elementary school level, where 5 on, 5 off, or minor hockey level, where you can play 3 minutes, and then the next group of 5 guys got to play 3 minutes. This is NBL, the Pro League in Canada. And I have not seen that substitution rotation at all.
Williams takes a nice shot there from distance.
Who was that?
Williams, I believe.
Yeah, he's been playing really well.
He has.
Offensively as well. That's a nice layup again. That's the same player in the first half that went hard to hoop twice.
Delarue is coming through again.
He's showing some life.
He is. And on a team that really hasn't, as, hey, you can't bring that back there, he says. As that will be a half-court violation. And it will go out again to Delarue, who, as you mentioned, had a pretty good first little bit there. Xavier Delarue. There's only, the odd rebound or two in there, but he's certainly making his presence felt.
At least he's pushing the ball and trying to get hard to the hoop, creating some things for his teammates.
Here comes Bowden as Lewis takes the fake, and that's a
traveling. Extra step there that time. Lewis, uncharacteristic for him to turn the ball over. But yeah, I'm pretty excited with Osvaldo Jeanty. Like I was telling you before we went on the air, I've seen him play many times. So I do follow university ball in Canada. In fact, my wife and I have gone twice, I'm trying to think maybe 3 times out to Halifax. Love that town, Halifax. Love to see the Halifax Raymond play there sometime. But we go out for the national championship, and both times I was there, Jeanty was there with the Carleton Ravens. Coach Dave Smart, probably the best coach in the world, well, in the college ball here in Canada anyway. I don't know why he's not doing more on the national team. I mean, he has helped, but I'm so glad that he go back to Jay Triano. I loved Leo Routens, but I think he lost his way a little bit there. And I was pretty mad at Leo. I told you, one of the things if I ever do get a chance to meet in person, why did you cut Osvaldo Jeanty from the national team? One of your last cuts. The winningest kind of player you ever want to have on your team, and you cut him.
Yeah, as you see Mims drawing up and getting 2 points there.
I mean, we didn't see him since the first quarter. He played like 5 minutes, scored 8 points, and then he sat.
He comes back. He comes back in a
there he
fury
is
too.
again.
And you had a pretty good description of Jeanty as a player. Maybe you should just kind of throw that out
well,
there.
Well,
yeah,
if fans are going to love Jeanty, he's not maybe the biggest guy or even the quickest guy, and he's not maybe the smoothest guy, but he is what I would call relentless. If you remember Michael Jordan playing, and he's no Michael Jordan, of course, with the skill set, but Michael Jordan, for most of his career, was termed relentless. That's how he played. He would never stop coming after you, and Jeanty is the same way. Loose balls, defensively, offensively, he would push it down your throat, and never looked pretty, but the ball's going in the hoop, and his team was winning. And whatever tough play you needed, he always provided it. So he's going to be a great fit for the London Lightning, and I think he's actually going to raise their level, I think. There's a nice play again by Abraham. Why they don't give him the ball almost every possession to start run the ball, offense through him every possession, I don't know why.
It's a nice little fake there from Lewis as he had another great fake as we see him draw up there.
That's
for 2
or 3 great head fakes.
He had another great fake just there at the top of the key when we were talking. I mean, just the kind of intelligence he had, just to look right at someone else and play it off to, I believe it was Ellis, who, I mean, couldn't quite pass it to the next person. But I mean, what a great set here we have had from Lewis as he will now go up for 2.
He's an all-around guy, right? He's got good presence on the court. You know, he's a hard guy to defend as well. And that pump fake, we've seen that 3 or 4 times tonight. It's been so effective.
It's dirt nasty.
Dirt nasty. Is that what you said?
Dirt nasty.
Dirt nasty. I can remember that one. Yeah.
As we have the Jazz moving it up now as Damien Buckley chips it off. Nikwe as he gives it out to Ibrahim and now back to Buckley. So you get a little bit of movement in there as Ibrahim calls for it down low, and I mean a little bit of a shoring defense
There's
there
Ibrahim again, right? So good things happen when the balls come to him and they take their time a little bit on offense. Good things happen.
Lewis for 3. It won't be there, but they'll get the rebound as Mims keeps battling. They keep pushing and no good. Still really tough on Ibrahim as maybe they're seeing maybe a good double team as that comes off the noggin, keeps it going.
A lot of pressure here by the Lightning, and Jazz can't handle it.
It's incredible as Bowden will set up for the 3, and that will not drop. Oh, a nice little move there from Lewis.
What great body control. With his left hand, no less. Up in the air, ball comes off the rim, just taps it in lightly with his left hand.
Lewis.
No block out from Jazz.
He reminds me a lot of just, I'm trying to think of the player for the LA Clippers. I can't, Blake, what's his name?
Oh, you think so?
I see it.
Blake Griffin?
Blake Griffin.
I don't think he's big enough for that.
Well, because he's got the stretch, and it just seems like when he gets in there, he can put that arm up, and
he's got the hang time. I'm with you on that. Yeah, he's got the hang time.
Very athletic and kind of built the same way. I see a lot of him in Lewis.
That's quite a compliment.
I know. I mean, maybe he isn't the next one, but hey, a boy can dream. As here come the Jazz with a nice little spake hook there.
Finally, somebody attacking the hoop. Finally.
It's been a while.
Good things are happening when they attack the hoop.
78-43 with 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Bowden takes it all by himself, and he might get a call here yet as Lewis tries to dunk it on the open net. And it seems if the Jazz are almost frustrated at the fact that the Lightning continue to try on open nets if a foul gets called or anything like that. But regardless,
well, I would say there has not been too much defense on the Montreal Jazz part, and of course we're trying to be a little bit kind here, but effort is the first thing you need in defense, and then you need really to understand what your other teammates are doing. And so far, there's not a lot of communication with the Montreal Jazz on team defense.
As Lewis finds his way in, but they'll blow that one down.
Lewis just backs his man down, and the guy is so frustrated, he reaches in and slaps him.
Just good movement with the ball.
Frustrated team here.
Yeah, and it's all been Lewis, all those attacks, and he's been able to orchestrate them almost perfectly, except for that one. As we now have Bowden making a move with Lewis, as Ellis will pick that one up right back as Lewis was unable to get to that one.
Again, the same play, a man coming out of bounds, right?
Yep.
Tim Ellis was the recipient of it down in the first half. And here he was the man making the pass where the guy come from out of bounds, making a sharp cut to the basket.
Oh, a quick pass to Williams, and it won't go down.
Lewis tips the ball loose again.
Yeah,
he's everywhere.
As we now have Williams again down low, tries to do the space hook, it won't go down, and again more battling. Except that time it will go out off of the Lightning.
Well, I would say tonight the Lightning are relentless as a team. What about? Would that be a fair statement?
Yes,
everybody's got their, I don't know,
their thing.
they're working hard, every one of them. They're all out for blood. So
yeah, and in terms of comparing that to the Jazz, I know a lot of times, you know, you'd have players like Blackburn coming down and almost being untouched to the top of the key and taking a shot. I mean, that's not
a lot of contesting going on right now with the Jazz.
No, they seem to be content with almost getting doubled tonight, as we have Dwayne Buckley at the line as he will sink his first for the Jazz.
So is Ibrahim back off the floor again, or is he still on there? He's looking for him.
I believe he is not.
He's not. He got subbed off, right?
Yes, he's off.
And we don't see Juan Mendez again either. So
no, as we have actually
I know it
replaced
is a 30-point game, so maybe you're trying to be careful with your guys. There's Mims again. He's certainly able to find his shot anywhere he wants to go, it looks like.
And he had a great start, but again, we didn't see him for very long as we have a nice little draw
there, finally.
And it's those shots like that that's
a Renalique, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's the second one in a row he's made.
Yeah, and
he's just pushing the ball and making a good choice. Jump shot at the foul line. That's a high percentage shot.
That's a nice little move there from Mims to catch the defense.
So too easy, way too easy.
Yeah, you get the ball and you go to where it came from, and everyone seems to move, you know, away from you. It seems as if it's a good move here from the.
There was nobody helping him. Nobody helping the defender there either. Nobody collapsed, double teamed, cut the lane off.
As the Lightning hit the 80-point plateau, as we have Ellis with a nice fade, but that's going to be an air ball, easily collected by Lewis, and a holding call as Lewis will go to the line.
An off-balance shot by Tim Ellis there, not sort of unusual, but Mr. Everywhere man, Morgan Lewis, is picking up the stray balls, doing good things with it.
As we have a break in play, we'll just take a brief look at the stats again, and I mean it's been all Lightning, and I think one of the things is because I mean they've been money from just about anywhere in terms of taking shots. I mean, field goal percentage 57%. I mean 3% like or three shots I should say 35% compared to the Jazz's 9.
Well, they're only 1 for 11 from the threes.
Yeah.
Montreal Jazz. You know, their last 2-3 baskets have all been inside.
Yeah.
Points in the paint are starting to close a little bit. It's 38-28.
And I mean, coming into this game, the only thing that the Jazz could hang their hat on in terms of stats was the fact they had a high steal count, and the steals tonight are 11 for the Lightning and 3 for the Jazz. So
the London Lightning has taken that away from them.
Yeah, they'll probably
good coaching there by Michael Ray, saying, look, one thing you're doing well, let's make sure we don't give them the ball. Let's not turn the ball over. Give them no chance.
That's exactly it.
That's a struggling team right now, the Montreal Jazz. It is early. It is only the third game. But you do only have 10 players dressed, as you said. 8 of them are Canadians, so I'm not sure if they're waiting for paperwork for maybe a couple of more American players to come into the fold or not. But right now, they're not at full strength.
Well, I mean, in all of November, they've only played, 3 games so far. I mean, and it's going to be one of those things where, you start the season off with not having a lot of games, and now you got to kind of battle to find yourself. And maybe that's what they're doing. I mean, you never know if a young team like this could catch fire. They could, always pressure for something, but you never know, as Lewis will go to the line for the Lightning. The Lightning are in purple jerseys tonight for the Shine the Light on Women's Abuse night here at Budweiser Gardens.
And there's no doubt about it. London are the defending champs, so they're coming off a huge win off of Oshawa. Everybody's got lots of confidence. They go deep. They're 10-player deep, no problem. And they don't really fall off that much on their subs. Every sub seems to bring a different dimension to the game. They have a lot of offensive weapons, a lot of different looks, and teams struggle with that because whatever's not working, Coach Michael Ray will switch it up, and now the other team's got to adjust.
Well, I mean, in terms of like the players that you have, Adrian Moss has barely played, but when he has just killed it. He's just been fantastic.
He'd probably be close to a starter on most of the teams in this league.
Yeah,
I am sure.
Yeah, I mean, and that was another thing I believe I read maybe in the London Free Press today, is the fact that any player on the Lightning could be a starter in any one of these teams, any of these teams in the league.
Well, I would say they're 6 or 7, maybe even 8 players probably would be starters on many of the teams in this league. I would not doubt that at all.
And that's just fantastic that a team can hold these many good players. I mean, it's strange, but almost great as Mims takes a shot and it goes off.
Well, part of the attractions is that even though it's just 1 year into the franchise, it is a winning franchise. It's a great place. We're playing basketball here in the Budweiser Gardens. So it's a great location. Great seats in the house.
Yeah.
Very kid friendly. You know, and
Awesome facility.
You got the coach that attracts the players as well. You got a great owner with Southside Group with Victor Bria. You know, so there's a lot of things to attract good players here as well.
As we have a pretty good attendance tonight, it was, I wouldn't say it was lacking on last Thursday night against Oshawa. Would you say that? Or it was kind of down from the numbers we saw before?
Yeah, I think the home opener, of course, attracted a big crowd.
Yeah.
I believe we had 1,800 at the Oshawa game, and I'm going to say that's probably close to that again tonight, about 1,800, which is fine. You know, it's early in the season.
I mean,
cold weather's not here yet.
Yeah.
People are still enjoying outside, right?
Yeah, or at least parts outside. How many did you get? How many was there, say, at the final last year?
Last year, I think we
5,000 or something.
I think it was very close to 5,000 last year.
As Bowden tries to the three, as it doesn't drop, and now here come the Jazz. And we have
nice great hit. It
goes all the way.
Nice little steal, but he did the right thing, going hard to the hoop.
Yep, just
now
right up the
4 against 1 here.
Lewis.
No.
Oh. They'll still blow that one down. Whistle went below.
I think Blake Griffin would have made that one.
Well, can't you see the Blake Griffin in him, though? I mean, it's...
Yeah, he has the same kind of style above the rim.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying there.
I'm sorry if it was something that was kind of out there, but...
No, I like that kind of comparisons. That's, it shows the same kind of game a bit there, yeah. I agree.
The Jazz make a couple of substitutions. We have Ibrahim coming back into this one, as we also have Delarue. That's a pretty solid game so far.
Yeah, I like what Delarue's brought. I like what Ibrahim's brought. He just needs to play more, if I were the coach. Mendez, there must be something going on with either physically with Mendez or coaching Mendez, because he has not played many minutes tonight.
Maybe he's not fit.
That's all I'm thinking. He did look a little slow there, but you know, I wasn't sure what was happening. If that was a physical thing or just the Lightning were playing so well. I'm looking down at the bench at Quebec. There's lots of talking between the players and the coach as well. I'm not sure what the dynamics are there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of talking back from the players there, kind of saying, you know, what's there to do, because there has to be no one on this bench right now happy, as they haven't even hit 50 points yet. Meanwhile, the Lightning are at 83. Here comes the steal. Here they go, starting with Bowden and to Lewis.
See, unselfish play again, eh? They make the ball move instead of run as hard as they can. The steal, Ellis gives it up to Bowden. Bowden gives it up to Lewis. Lewis is around the floor as hard as he can to get to the hoop, and he gets rewarded with the ball for an easy putback. Very unselfish team as well, the Lightning.
Meanwhile, Ibrahim doing it all himself, because there isn't that many options, especially down low there.
What was called there? They're not getting rewarded for what he ever did.
Yeah, that was
it's like a turnover there, a travel or something.
Yeah, it might be something.
Because Lightning got the ball back.
Regardless, Lightning ball, as we have Bowden moving it up with Mims at his side, and then you also have Ellis down here on the near side. He gets that to Ellis for 2 points. It will not go. Mims with the nice rebound and right back in again.
Inside position, no block out again by Montreal. Montreal, you know, they are a fairly big team, but they're not that physical. Nice move by Ibrahim on that. That is an Olajuwon move.
Yep.
So I'll give it back to him. I'll say you're Hakeem the Dream, Olajuwon.
It's been fading in and out, your comparison.
Yeah, he has, because, you know, he hasn't been on the floor a whole lot. So.
Oh, it's here they come.
Uncharacteristic steal. Nice layout finish for Montreal. Give them a little bit of life.
Lebros with a nice little move there, and again, a nice kind of defensive move, you know, turning into offense. I think is what the Jazz like to play, but I mean, they haven't been able to do it.
Well, you noticed this in the Oshawa game, where we know that the Lightning scored 153 points, but they gave up a lot of points in the second half, you said. Yeah. And I think that's something that the Lightning, even though they're up here by 34 points, I don't think they should develop bad habits in the second half and do easy turnovers and easy runouts. It is early. Maybe I'm a little tough as a commentator, former coach maybe, but bad habits can start. You don't want it to, even in this kind of blowout game, you still want to keep your players accountable for defense.
As Licorice comes off.
See, that was good. Ibrahim had the ball low. He hung on to it. Two guys came on it. The guy rotated a three-point. He had a wide open three-point shot. So he missed it. Whatever. It was the right thing to do. It was the right shot. Yeah, still they're shooting like what? Are they shooting 1 for 13 now? But, you know, as a coach, you got to say, hey, keep taking that shot because you're wide open. Nice drive to the hoop. Finally, there's somebody's bringing hard to the hoop, and the big guy's getting rewarded.
As Licorice with a nice little receive there, and again, nice and easy passes. It seems to be working this way as Lewis makes a pass, and nice interception there from
a lot more energy for Montreal here the last couple of minutes.
As they've been on the push.
I think London's lost their focus a little bit.
Delarue
that's
from
not
distance.
a pretty looking shot.
No.
He's fading way to his right. has feet together. Not much push on it.
Bowden was wide open there, but the ball would be a holding call.
Williams bringing the ball up. Well, we know he can play defense. He's blocked and got rebounds. We know he can shoot. He even shot a three-pointer. Can he pass the ball? I don't know.
Yeah.
He got hammered there, so
we'll
see.
I don't think he might. I don't think he really needs to, as we have the mustache cam up on the big screen as fans try to kind of stay loose. As there's been really not too much about this game. Really to keep watching. It's been pretty one-sided, so the fans staying loose by acting like they have mustaches. Hey, why not? I have one in real life, and it's not that great. As we have Williams at the line.
Looks like that was called a flagrant foul, so it looks like London will get the ball back.
Yep. So here it comes. Oh, and they're trying to start the wave on the far side as everyone trying to stay loose. The score now is 90-55 in favor of the Lightning.
Oh, 90 points already. We're not even in the end of the third quarter.
As there's 1:19
well, there's
on the
some
clock.
stat padding going on tonight.
Yeah.
I think.
Might as well.
Well, mind you, Coach is just staying with his regular lineup and his regular rotation for what I can see from Coach Michael Ray.
As we have Bowden driving the lane and getting a little bit of space for his teammates. Mims backs up. There's 10 seconds on the clock. He'll take the shot from there and up and down again.
Like I said, we don't know too much about Alvin Mims yet. Like, personally sitting at courtside watching him play ball, we know what his record is playing at college, you know, and being a former pro, but I really like his game. He takes what the defense gives him. He's got good fundamentals on his shot. He's playing great defense.
As that was 17 points for Mims tonight.
17, wow.
As, I mean,
you would never know it, eh? Look at a nice step over there. I thought a reaching
Lewis
foul
again
for Lewis.
battling and finding that room down low. As you mentioned, London looking, not really giving up, as there's a replay on the board there, as Mims again getting up high. He's got a nice little stretch there as well, as Ellis still puts her in there after the
no continuation. Foul. This is not the NBA.
Yeah,
that was a nice move by Ellis.
It was, as now Ellis will go to the line.
We'll talk more about Alvin Mims, you know, for the Hardin TV to judge how big he is, but he's 6'5". You know, he's out of southern Mississippi. He is a veteran that has come onto the court. I do believe he has played for Coach Michael Ray Richardson as well in the previous team, I believe down in south at Calvary, I believe, or Cavalry, I think it was called, actually.
Yes, I believe
But it's our first look at him here as London, and only really our second or third look at him as commentators. But I really like his game. He seems to do whatever the team needs him to do. He'll play defense, or he'll shoot, or he'll get the loose ball.
He seems like a really good lanky guy, as now Bowden will drive in and play it off to Ellis, and he gets sacked by the rim itself, as we see the ball go all the way out to no one. That's kind of unfortunate for Ellis.
You're not going to begrudge that one, so
yeah.
That was a run out, just a poorly thrown pass, a little bit over, a little too far for Tim Ellis to grab that time. As
I'm sure Michael Ray Richardson might be saying, if anything went wrong, it still might play until the final whistle here. As again, the score is 94-58 in favor of the Lightning.
Play one speed, eh? Yeah. Anthony Bowden one speed. Like there's like 5 seconds left on the clock, and he's like not dribbling the string out or nothing. He's like pushing it down the lane. He gets an easy an easy pass for Tim Ellis. He only plays at 100%. That's what Jonty will bring as well. He won't back off. No how, no way.
As now,
I haven't seen Osvaldo Jonty play, of course. He's been in Germany, I think, for 4 or 5 years. So I haven't seen him for a while, but I'm sure he's the same type of player yet.
1:04 on the clock as time will expire after that shot, and that will actually go fairly close, as the score after 3 quarters of play is Lightning 96, Jazz 58.
Well, tough game to call for us as commentators. A little bit of life there from Montreal at the end of the third quarter. I think more of a mental letdown from London Lightning than anything else.
Yeah. It seems as if the Lightning are just, I mean, it doesn't seem fair.
At this point in time, no, in this season. I'm really going to be curious to see what Montreal comes back with next Thursday, and see what their lineup looks like as well, and see how their franchise goes this year, because you know, right now this will bring them to 0-3 for the year.
Yeah.
And fans are fans. You know, they want to see winning teams, or at least teams that are competing anyway. And tonight, Montreal has, well, not going to win, and they're not really competing tonight, other than some brief stretches here and there. And so fans will not be too happy with that, and you won't get too many out to the game if that continues all season.
As we have the return fixture, if you like, as Montreal will travel, or sorry, London rather, will travel to Montreal for the return game, and that'll actually be tomorrow night So London and Montreal probably jumping on the same bus to head up to
Am I reading
Montreal.
that schedule right? They're playing tonight against Montreal. They're playing tomorrow night in Montreal.
Yep.
And they're playing Thursday night in London, so 3 times against the Jazz.
Yes, and actually I believe the other time that they play in terms of these two teams, it's also kind of bunched together. If I may just pull that up really briefly here, but I believe that the schedules are kind of bunched together for Montreal for whatever reason. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, well,
it's a bit of a drive to Montreal.
It is.
So they're driving there tomorrow to play tomorrow night, and then they're coming back Thursday. So three games in a row against the same opponent. Not much chance for Montreal to improve for the next game against one of the best teams in the league. They might be getting hammered all 3 times.
You never know, though. If they come back home and they do their homework, they might come out with something a little bit better than this. As we have Delarue moving it, passing it out to Ibrahim.
Ibrahim's been playing a little bit more, and what I can see in the third quarter, and the team is playing better as a team.
Yeah, I think they're doing better as well. I have a London Lightning player taking a dive there, trying to get to that ball. As there'll be a foul.
That was an ill-advised pass by DeAndre Thomas. He got the rebound underneath his own basket, tried to throw it through a crowd to half. That is not a high percentage pass.
As we now have the Jazz taking the ball out here for an inbound. As it starts, the number 4, Karish.
Not sure what that call was. Like a blocking foul, I think, against DeAndre Thomas, I believe.
As now DeAndre Thomas getting some minutes as well near the end of this one. 11:41 in the fourth quarter.
Buford's on as well, and so is Moss and Blackburn, and who's that, Murray?
Making a few
changes.
So
it's like 5 changes for London Lightning, taking a page out of the Montreal Jazz book there. All 5 subs are in.
Yeah, maybe a book that hasn't been that well read. As we have Delarue taking it all the way.
I like Delarue's game when he takes it hard to the hoop. So far, his outside shot hasn't looked too pretty, but I like it when he puts the ball on the floor and does a little jumper or gets hard to the hoop.
He's been pretty good so far, as we see Blackburn, who's also been pretty good.
He picked them up. Like, what is that?
And that's happened multiple times. No one seems to pick him up.
Blackburn, the invisible man. Nobody picks him up on D. He gets all the free shots. And
he was a starter, but maybe London weren't expecting that from him as Ibrahim gets a lucky bounce to get
I
that
like
one.
Ibrahim. I think on a London Lightning team, coach would really push him, I think. And he'd improve by leaps and bounds. I like his game. He's got great length and a nice touch around the basket.
As here comes Blackburn. So
Blackburn again. Yeah. I'm going to call him that, the Invisible Man. That's my nickname for him the rest of the year. Nobody plays defense on him.
As he puts the Lightning up to 101-62. As
There's Ibrahim again.
It's been the battle between Ibrahim and Blackburn.
Why hasn't he been playing more tonight? My goodness.
As now Moss tries to move it in. He's got the speed. He might get a call here yet.
No continuation.
It'll go out.
Got fouled way at the 3-point line already.
My apologies.
It's all right.
As we
so quick. He's so fast, you can't even tell. So
it's all just a blur to me.
Yes.
Well, I don't know about you guys on.
Well, I think a lot of us. He's pretty darn quick out there.
Buford, Thomas takes it. He can push his way in, and what he's going to try to do, fadeaway jumper from Thomas. That might not work.
Well, he got pushed body-wise. Guy stepped right into him. It was a good head fake there. Took it out of Morgan Lewis's playbook, I think.
As they'll go to the line here. As that'll be DeAndre Thomas's. I mean, we haven't seen him enough, and I think that's just because Jeremy Williams has had such a great game. He's one of those players.
I think we've seen every player for the Lightning except maybe Dane Smith, the other Canadian player, but every player from London Lightning has been on the floor tonight as well.
And also, Mr. White was in a similar spot with the Lightning in terms of getting playing time, because I know he didn't play in the first game, but they played him and Dane at the start, and obviously Josh White will not get any more minutes for the Lightning as he's going to be released pending league approval. As now DeAndre Thomas takes his second shot here. 102-64, 103-64.
Well, I know if I were a coach at London, I would really want to hold this team to under 90 points. You know, maybe even 85. Can we hit it, keep them down to 80 to Montreal Jazz? That would be my goal now as a challenge to this second units on the floor. Let's play some defense. Let's keep this team under 90 points. Let's get our points against per defense down. Right now they're sitting, pretty close to 100.
Yeah, just under 100 at 99. As we now have a couple movements in the key, as there's 4 seconds left. They got to make a push. Here comes a nice block as he'll get it up. As the pick and roll didn't quite work out as no finish there from Reliquary.
Buford goes up for the one-hander, rips down, power rebound, and he gets bounced. He looks at the ref, and the ref says, travel. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. I worked hard for that rebound.
Luckily, the refs haven't made too much of a stink in this one, obviously, because the game isn't too close. As again, they get a full, clean shot clock as they have
a little isolation play here. Nice play. The guy comes around the pick. That's a nice looking shot from the elbow at the key. We haven't seen that too much tonight, but I think that's something that Montreal can really run through Ibrahim easily.
As we now have the Sheriff moving it along, takes the fade, and that'll go.
Tough shot. There goes his sick gun. Did you see it? He pulled it out of his hip, and he's shooting it. That was a tough fadeaway jumper. That was good defense by Montreal, but a better shot by Rodney the Sheriff Buford.
I love that. Sure, he's reloading right now. As we have Buckley passing it to Ibrahim. He takes another nice shot.
What a soft touch. Now that really is an Olajuwon kind of shot. That fadeaway to the baseline, high arcing shot. Boy, that's something he can really develop consistently. That's going to be a big weapon for Montreal. As
Murray bounces back for the Lightning, as they're still on the move here yet.
He's doing the right things. He's blew by Adrian Moss. Moss was slacking off on him, and he just went right by him and got the foul. Good play by Montreal.
As now we have Montreal doing the inbound here. As it starts with Reliquary. He plays it off. A nice little pass to Buckley. Oh, interception.
Ooh, he was quick to get down there, wasn't he?
Nice job by Moss, and they said he went out as he'll just finish that ball.
No, I think it was a foul, and Moss didn't want to be the foul guy. He was on the fast break. He was trying to set up his partner for an alley-oop. He's mad he got called for the foul. The foul was called against him.
9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 107 to 66 is the score.
Is that 41-point difference? Yeah, 41.
As Ibrahim comes off, should mention.
Is he?
Sitting at 16 points already, kind of keeping that
He played a great 3-4 minute stretch there in the beginning of that quarter. And when they go consistently to Ibrahim, their offense is much better.
He has a lot of power down there. As you see Murray again trying to pull up, and Thomas with the easy win, and give me some of that, he says, and he puts it down.
He just carried that man on his back, no problem. That was an easy putback for him.
And it's so easy just to give the ball to him down low and him just make all the space you need. And that was a great example of that as we see Buckley up top. He's going to play it in. A nice little pass out to his teammate there, Licorice, as he goes up and will win the rebound yet. So they're still playing it around. Buckley with the drown.
Yep.
So again,
Montreal finally finding a little bit of their offense.
As Moss tried to play it in, and Thomas collects that pass. But again, this crowd is electric when Thomas has the ball, and rightfully so. He's a big playmaker, if I might say so myself. As Buckley plays it, slides Licorice down low as he tries to do a fade, and it won't work. And Thomas again with the rebound.
Thomas, he takes up a lot of space. You're right. He's fast becoming a crowd favorite here. He's working hard out there.
He's certainly identifiable with everyone, and they love it when he has the ball because he is so just electric when he has it. Because with his size, something's going to happen.
Yep, I knew you were going to say that. Something's going to happen.
So you decide, so you copy me.
There. No, I was reading your mind. Because it's true. The crowd is sensing that, right? They think something's going to happen.
And especially, you get him in those spots just at the bottom of the key there, and he'll push you, and you'll get frustrated, and then he'll just curve around you, and that's it. Oh, there's a little bit of frustration here.
Okay,
as Blackburn,
substitution coming in.
Blackburn's getting in Dwayne Buckley's face down there as they're still kind of chirping. The ref will help him out.
A little frustration from Montreal players.
As Blackburn will be the one in match against Buckley here yet.
So Smith is in for Murray, so two fellow Canadians taking each other's spots. Murray, how do you stop that crossover dribble?
Moss finds his way and gets hip checked going down.
What are you going to do with that? The guy's doing 4, 5, 6 crossover dribbles in front of you. You don't know when he's going. And then he gets so low, you can't even hang over top of him. Goes right underneath you. Draws a foul. That is a tough matchup for anybody guarding him.
As they'll now go to the line, and Moss will sink his first out of 2.
I think one thing that Moss, and I think self-admittedly, has said that, I need to be able to show that I can shoot. And he says, I can shoot, I just haven't shown it yet. So if he brings that weapon to his arsenal in this league, with that dribble penetration and people back off, and he shoots the ball reliably, wow, that is going to be one tough matchup.
But he has so many different tools. I mean, he has the speed to break in, and most of those points have just been coming in and taking layups. So someone needs to make a move here yet, as there's 6 seconds. Tries to play it in, try to chip it up there, and Thomas will not get the point for Montreal, but he will get the foul instead.
A strong move inside. He didn't give up on it when he got double teamed, just powered it up, hoping for the call, and he got one.
Sheree Thomas at the line, University of Kentucky alumni. There's a lot of
for those fans that are at the game or watching, you know, like almost to a man, these guys have played university ball either in the States Division I or almost to a man they played pro overseas somewhere. I mean, this is good caliber ball that we have down here, especially when you're up close. You're going, wow, these guys can play.
And that was one of the first things I had ever, when I did my first game, as we see Moss taking a shot, I was very impressed with the level of play, and so were all my friends when I said, hey, I'm doing play-by-play for this. They all were very impressed with the level of play. It seems as if no one knows that this kind of, caliber is here.
Well, like I said, it is only the second year. By the end of last year, there was quite a following here. It took a while to get going, and I think the league is starting to really make an impression on the Canadian public. We just need to keep our franchises stable. Of course, good news, we're hearing that Ottawa is going to have a team coming in next year. I think official announcement's on the 21st.
Yep.
But they'll make 10 teams into the league. Right now we have 9 teams in the league.
As you see,
or 8,
getting that point back
that'll
there.
make 9 teams.
That'd make 9.
Yeah.
So Ottawa getting one. Ottawa basically the only major market in that general area that in this Eastern Canada part anyways that doesn't have a team. So I mean, where else can they expand if they see fit to expand in the next couple of years?
Well, they got Windsor this year, of course, right? But what do we got in the Kitchener-Waterloo area? You know, there's 500,000 people or more living there.
Yeah.
That's easily another place.
And they haven't really explored the GTA.
We have. Well, Oshawa is, struggling a little bit for fans. Not sure if there's just too much out there for people to do or too many choices for people, but they are struggling a little bit. You know, we haven't even looked at the Niagara area. You know, there's places there they probably could. Hamilton, big town, right?
Yep.
So there are plenty of spots here in Ontario yet to put this type of team together.
And even Kingston. I know you mentioned that before.
Yeah, Kingston was in the mix at one time. I believe they backed off through the process last year, but they were also in the mix for a franchise as well.
And again, another 100,000 people there or so. So obviously there are still some big markets yet to be explored by this league, as we have the Jazz, the new expansion team, winning the ball and getting running around there as they will draw the foul.
Well, one of the things, Canada is such a darn big country. Like, how do we ever expand out east as an NBL? You'd think the East and the West would never play together until maybe the playoff finals, but which would be unfortunate. You wouldn't get to see the teams from out west, but travel is so onerous, and of course everybody's on a limited budget here. They all have a salary cap or a budget cap here. Yeah. And I forget what it is now. It's something like 175,000 or 180,000 or something per team. You can't do a lot of traveling out west with that.
Well, especially when you consider that players like Gabe Freeman, who was was obviously the best player in the league last year. Went to the Philippines and reportedly makes 4 times the amount he's making in Canada.
Yeah, I make it $20,000 a month there, right?
Yeah.
And but that's part of the attraction of this league as well, for getting players into it. It opens other opportunities for them, or allows them to extend their career as well.
As we have the Lightning now in the purple get-ups, as that was a...
Well, think about it. You're playing basketball and you're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
And you're making a living off it. Your expenses are paid for, so how bad can it be? Really.
But that's the other thing is, as we go to a TV timeout, we'll continue this conversation. A lot of these players leaving family, London isn't necessarily bringing any local players. I mean, that has to have an effect. It always has an effect.
Yeah, that's true. And some of the players have got their families up here now, I understand, and there's some housing provided. So but for the most part, you're right. They are away from home. That is difficult. That is part of professional life as well, right? Even playing overseas in the pro leagues, even with the NBL. So
yeah, and then we also talked about briefly before the broadcast as well is the turnover in this league. So we mentioned Montreal.
I don't know if that's going to be a norm. I mean, I'm sort of guessing that it's going to be a fairly high turnover. Like, I don't know if that's this year. Not one player in Montreal has returned. Like they've gone, or
we should note just for the listeners and that. Montreal has no players returning. London has four. And I mean, Oshawa had 1 and 2, and Halifax had a couple.
You look through the whole league, 4 or 5 players is maybe the most somebody's retaining, so that they're turning over 2/3 of their team at least. So, but you know, like I said, it's early fledgling years of the league. Looks like they got a good solid footing last year, and hopefully we build on it with the expansion with Windsor, and we'll see.
There's a lot more growth that can happen in this league, and there's also a lot that can happen, you know, with any kind of league. There have been attempts to have a National Basketball League in Canada for a long time.
Yes, there has been, off and on.
And it's been, you know, the consistency, you know, hasn't been there in terms of keeping the league.
Well, you know, Halifax always had a pro team for a while, and so did St. John, I believe. And Quebec Cavs, they used to be called. They used to play in that American League up and down the East Coast there. I know there was some unhappiness with the way the league was run, and so it took a few years, but finally decided, let's strike out on our own. They got London back in as an original franchise, and Oshawa as well, and I think Moncton.
Yes,
Moncton
was in a different league.
Was another one as well.
As we see Dane Smith getting 2 points, and I mean this. You mentioned the ABA before, but the ABA was another league that expanded a little too quickly, maybe for its own good. A lot of the leagues did back then, and you think that's a problem, maybe expanding, you know, a little bit too much out of your means too early as a league?
Well, I think right now the league is doing it the right way. From what I can see, you know, it would have been nice to get Ottawa in this year, but not everything was in place, and so they waited, and here we are a month into the season. You think, well, why couldn't they have been in this season already if they're already committed to it? But I think they're making good decisions. Now they have a year to prepare for next year, and let's see who else comes out for the towns. I think the league has done a good job in managing their franchises, or who's backing it, and we do have a couple of attendance problems. We did last year. We know in Quebec and Oshawa were struggling with attendance. The rest of the league was doing pretty good. Yeah. And so we'll see. I think slow but steady is probably the best way, and it's a good product on the floor. Like, even if it is a blowout today, you know, that's not the norm normally in the league. Usually they are pretty close games.
And it was mentioned by Mr. Brown that they wanted to get more students out to the game, and there was a chance there by one of the reporters at 106.9 The X here locally. He mentioned the chance that there could be a deal out there for students. $15 would get you a ticket, hot dog, and a beer. And isn't that kind of what you want to get to people, to get people come out here, as we see DeAndre Thomas taking
you're talking university students. Yeah, I was thinking students. I was thinking elementary and high school.
Oh,
you give them a beer? You got to be kidding me.
Fanshawe,
I got you. Fanshawe and Western. Yeah, I got you there.
So I mean, there's a big student population here, and I mean, students love sports. I mean, it's a great idea to get people out here.
Yeah. Well, they did a nice gesture last year. They gave season tickets to all the high school coaches in town, boys and girls basketball, and then they gave special deals if they wanted to bring their team out. Yeah. So they can get good tickets for that as well. I know my son coached last year, and he got season tickets and brought his team a couple times, and it was just a great experience for him.
It's about growth of the players, but it's also about domestic growth. As we see, we're just under 5 minutes here, and here comes a nice interception. Get that guy out of the way with the broom.
Oh, Dane Smith.
As our
hometown Canadian guy.
As Dane Smith, a nice move.
Homegrown, I should say.
Homegrown. Again, another domestic product. As we have Montreal, they're full of them, but it's not helping them tonight. 117 to 71, 4:30 on the clock. Here comes the layup opportunity, and it will go down eventually off of Licorice here. As here come the Lightning again, as Moss takes the move. Oh, a quick shot off here to Smith, and that won't drop.
That was Murray that time. Yeah. Did they count that?
I believe they did.
Did that not hit the top of the board?
Oh. I believe it. They counted as it says 119
Where's our instant
on the
replay
clock.
when we need it? Doggone it.
Yeah, the guys over there are really slacking tonight. Here comes a nice shot here from Delarue. That won't drop.
You're being generous there. That was not a nice looking shot.
Delarue will play it off.
Very generous.
Sorry, jeez. I think they just need a compliment at this point. As DeAndre Thomas.
I do like Delarue as a player. I just think he needs to get to the hoop or take the shorter jumper. He does not look comfortable shooting from far out.
The France international has been Xavier Delarue has been pretty good so far, as we don't have Delarue at the line right now. Instead, we have Reliquit. He will sink the first one.
Well, Ibrahim has got 18 points. Nobody else in double figures I can see for Quebec.
And that was the other thing we should mention, that last game for Quebec when they played Moncton. They had 5 players with double digits. They had, it was really consistent in terms of the amount of where the scoring was coming from. But this game, there isn't that consistency. It seems like everyone's just kind of, sporadically getting points here and there, and no one's putting together consistent performances.
There has not been consistent offense at all. On London's behalf, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players currently at double figures.
And with obviously Morgan Lewis with 18, and then also Mims, and we see Jeremy Williams with 17. So again, in the high
well balanced scoring. Good sharing of the ball by London.
Yeah.
They have a lot of offensive weapons. So, any one of those 3 or 4 players could probably score 25, 30 points a game if they so choose. But they're sharing the ball and they're benefiting as a team.
They're at 120. And this is to be 121. They will get that. So it's 121 to 75 with 3 and change left. As we have Michelle moving that down. Buckley shifts it off to Delarue.
Nice dribble penetration. 2 guys came to him. He dumped the ball off to his teammate for an easy putback. Where has that been all game?
Yeah. Delarue with a nice little move there. As here comes a nice little move from Moss as he almost threw that under shoulder, and it will not drop.
Up and under fake again. He gets so low, you can't help flying over top of him. And he's willing to take the contact, Moss.
As he will now go to the line. Well, obviously, the team is over the limit at this point. As 121 to 77, Moss will go to the line for 2, and here is 1.
Friendly roll.
Yeah, lucky bounce. You are watching SportsLive.ca's coverage of this NBL regular season game between the London Lightning and the Montreal Jazz. My name is Marty Thompson, and I'm going to try his name one more time, and I'm alongside John Van Houwelingen.
I'll take it.
As we're calling this game here from Budweiser Gardens. 3 minutes left in this one. It's been all Lightning all the time.
Well, another stat that really jumps out at me is the assist differential. London 24 assists as a team, Montreal 11.
Well, I mean, if you think about how Ibrahim, who is obviously the leading scorer, how he's scoring his points is really just getting the ball down low and just working it. And I mean, there hasn't been a lot of passing because, they've been saying get it to those big guys down low and try to get points. And that's all that's been happening. As Thomas tries to push his way in. Give me some of that, he says. Nice fade as goes off the side, and a nice interception here off of the board.
Too much that time.
Reliquy with a nice layup.
Nice driving straight to the hoop.
As the Jazz are at 79. So you mentioned trying to keep them to 80 points. It looks like that will not happen.
Well, I said 85. 80 would be nice, I said, right?
Yeah, that's true. Moss with a nice shot, and it won't go.
He needs to make that consistently, I think.
Teams
are going to learn to back off on him and, and push him into a double team if he comes in low. But he can make that shot consistently from the foul line, 15 to 18 feet out. He is going to be really hard to handle.
Dane Smith with his 8th point, as now we have the Lightning coming back again. Blackburn takes his time. Oh, that was fancy. Here comes a long shot from Murray, and it drops.
Makes it, front of the rim, gets a friendly roll. There's Murray showing off his scoring prowess from his university days.
As 1:46 on the clock, his time is kind of winding down here in London. Oh, so a nice little shot there from Dwayne Buckley. As the Jazz refuse to go down, 128 to 81. And a nice little return there from Murray, and he can't get the bounce that time.
I think he's trying to show his coach that he can shoot, but he probably should have passed the ball a couple times, waited for it to come back to him. Everybody's shooting quickly now.
As you just see there, Reliquy.
Too little, too late.
With a nice little move. Well, I mean, yeah, that was, as the announcer says, Sportsois, and we appreciate the bilingualness. As again, here come Montreal, 84 points. I mean, that's not too bad considering.
Yeah, intensity has gone out of the game, though.
Yeah, it has. You're correct. Here comes Murray. Plays it off to Moss, and he goes up and over and down.
Nice finish again underneath. That was a nice play by, was that Smith that time, right? Dane Smith?
I believe that was Moss, actually.
Moss? Oh, no, I know he finished it, but on the assist, I mean.
Yes, that was.
Yeah, that was nice. Very nice play.
Delarue again answers back, so
I'll earn some kudos from his coach.
As we're just under a minute, Moss with a nice little loft pass there.
Teammate didn't know it was coming to him. All of a sudden, there it was.
Moss just so creative. His other teammates cannot catch up. As here comes a nice long pass, or shot rather, that will not go down for Reliquy. There's 40 seconds
want
now.
to get their points in here, right?
Moss taking a shot, and here comes.
This is what do you call this? Gravy time or whatever you call it.
He's got a couple options here yet. You can't put it in. Thomas with the big win.
Defensive stop. He's bringing the ball up. What's going to happen here? He's going all the way and gets hammered. The crossover dribble, full length court dribble to the hoop by Donner. That was like slow motion.
Did you hear the kind of cheers? I don't know how our mics are working for the crowd tonight, but Thomas taking that ball up. I don't think they've cheered louder all year.
It's too bad he couldn't get some more ups and just slam it home.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? I think that's what everyone wants to see here with 25 seconds left on the clock. 130 points for the Lightning.
30 points, my goodness.
It's been a high-scoring game, and kind of the game we were expecting, I think.
Well, on paper, that's what we saw, right? Mismatch, and we didn't see really. We saw unusual sub rotation. I would say it to be very generous.
Yeah.
From Montreal, we haven't not seen, arguably maybe the best player from Montreal on the court very much today. No. We're talking Juan Mendez. Ibrahim has shown what he can do, even though he still played erratic minutes. Still got his 18 points.
7 rebounds too.
And 7 rebounds, but he was still pulled off the court like a yo-yo as well. He hasn't played pretty well all this quarter either.
As now they'll play out the final minutes of the game. The shot clock will still be on as it's just a minute past the shot clock. 16 seconds left in this one as that ball bounces out.
Reach in foul, I believe, Colin.
As Yul Michel will go to the line of Haitian descent. So Haiti, obviously a country that's can have a lot of French immigrants, obviously, because they're
few minutes
French.
Of scoring is now all of a sudden Quebec has some. They put about 12, 13 points on the board there in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They got 3 more people in double figures.
13 seconds left. Maybe a last push here for the Jazz. Here comes a long shot, and try to be collected. As here we go. One more.
Another dunk for Dane Smith. That's 2 tonight for the Canadian.
Dane Smith with a great move, and that will spell the end of it as chest bumps all around. The Lightning win this one 134 to 86.
Huge roar from the crowd.
As they improve to 4-0.
And well done by London Lightning. No competition tonight from Montreal Jazz. And they're going to play each other 2 more times in the next week, starting tomorrow night.
And I mean, what needs to change? Really briefly, what needs to change for the Jazz if they want to come out? Is there anything a coach can do?
Intensity level has to be picked up markedly by Quebec or by Montreal. They need to go with their strengths, which is Ibrahim inside, and then kick the ball out. I think Mendez must be hurt because he didn't play much tonight. But if they don't match the intensity from London Lightning, Lightning don't fall off much when they go to their bench. Skill level or intensity level, they're on a roll. They're playing very well.
So on behalf of myself, John, and everyone here at sportslive.ca, thank you for tuning in tonight. Again, the final score, Lightning 134, Jazz 86.